Because this map doesn't need any skill. This is exactly how they described. It is a full speed map, yeah. The thumb already hurts because I press the button down all the time. I don't need to press it down all the time because in the freewheel sections I could of course just let off. But I'm not liking that to actually remove my thumb from the gamepad in a freewheel like I usually still press. Yeah, I don't know, this is gonna be annoying. Let's start with this cup here. Weekly shorts. I mean, on this weekly shorts week I'm not really looking too confident because of map 4 and map 5. They are both not good for me. And map 1 here is way too easy. Map 2 is at least a little bit interesting, but also very random with that wallbang. And map 3 is also mega short. This this weekly shorts cup, I am not really thinking that I win this, but I will still play it and try. My shift is tomorrow at 10:30 AM. So I have still some time to learn the map and everything. I have no idea. Maybe this JFF team. Because this one guy was so fast. Like 5 seconds faster somehow. But I mean, it's very obvious how he gets more speed somewhere. And that just carries through. Like they said, the map has no snowballing. But since there are hidden SDs, it snowballs actually a lot. And the map is also like the definition of snowballing. Because your first lap at the start is never gonna be your best lap. Always when you come to the multi-lap again, you come with more speed because you don't start with 0. You come with more speed, so your second lap is always gonna be an improvement. And then theoretically you have then again a little bit more speed at the end of second lap when you start the third lap. So every lap could be an improvement again and again. And this is like how what I would say is definitely snowball. Especially snowball also includes kind of that you cannot come back when you have less speed. Like in snow car sometimes, and like this is the case there. If you have a small mistake, if you have less speed than an opponent, then you cannot do anything yourself to change that. Like at some point it will equal out again, but in theory he would always have more speed as long as he doesn't crash. Also this I don't know, this map is a little bit boring. It is interesting, it's something different. but it's also not very exciting to play. It is basically a precision map, but maybe with just these few speed slides, and they are way more important than the precision is. Yeah, also any extra speed that you can get somewhere is just so much more important than any tight line that you could do otherwise. And consistency is of course key. You are not allowed to make a single mistake. And especially you have to learn all the respawns. Because this one respawn, I was so long yak. I think I would have driven the first stint now if I understood where to go in the first 2 laps. Like, I lost so much valuable time there by not understanding this respawn that respawned me in front of a loop. And I didn't remember that I came out of the loop into the checkpoint. I didn't remember that. Naja. I thought we have to take the booster, make it, and with the booster then make the loop or something. It was very weird. Jxliano has beaten my PB 2 times in a row. But was that bad? Crazy that such a mediocre one is good enough for 7th. Well, everyone is wandering up there. Full crash and I'm 3rd, naja. Describe or define what a full crash is then. As you might know, in this Weekly Shorts Cup, every team, every player starts with 3 lives. It's normal knockout, otherwise, but yeah, you're fully eliminated once you lose all your 3 lives. The first rotation here is still very easy, but then towards the second rotation it definitely becomes tougher and tougher to survive. And especially on those maps. Now we will see how map 4 looks like, because my position here is only 1100 something. I am not good on this track. Now the question is if I'm only behind because many people actually managed to get the cut, or if it's the soup from the magnet that you can get. Jxliano did a different line than me, I saw him once. Maybe that is faster than what I always tried. But I think I will just go completely PF, completely safe, no experiments, because I know that anything that I do different here can result in big crashes. And to be honest, this downhill I can still crash even if I try to go safe. What is my best favorite tournament win? There are multiple that I think of immediately. But I guess number 1 gonna be the Mini Tech Net tournament. That happened in around 2010-ish. Or wait. A bit earlier. 2009 or something. Was in Team in F. And it was a huge event with some hardware prizes. And every Stadium Pro, pretty much every Stadium Pro took part in this competition. Also even people like Frostbeule and so on. But this tournament was a fast learn tournament. And fast learn, that didn't exist in Team NF back then. The only tournaments that they played were basically team competitions, where team drives versus team, and where they train competitive tech maps for a long time. This tournament, however, was the complete opposite. It was fast learn and it was not tech. It was anything. It even used block mix. It is basically exactly what you see today. So, and I came from Trackmania United. I was used for different driving. I was not used for what they built, but I'm generally more open to other things than just tech. And those tech players had no chance against me. I actually smashed that tournament. I won it by a mile against the best stadium players on earth. I won a netbook with that. And like this was crazy. It was just crazy. Now, years later, also over 10 years later, 15 years maybe later. No, not 15 years. Yeah, something 10 years later, I don't know. I asked another player if he would like to play these maps as well with the same format in mind. 3 rounds per map, and it were just 3 maps, but all these 3 maps were long. They were like 4 or 5 minutes long, and you had 3 rounds per map with 1 warm-up before. And I let this driver drive this. And I'm not surprised, but he was better than what I did in the cup. Because nowadays we are just so much more used to weird stuff, to driving weird stuff, but we are also more used to fast learn. And he's also a very good player in this regard. And yeah, he has beaten basically all my runs that I did in the cup. So, like, the thing is, I was just so much ahead of the time. And it was a super easy free win, especially against those opponents that were only used to do boring tech competitions. And it was not necessarily perfect how I drove, but still very good. Especially there was one track that was more tech based, and that map I actually won. That was like even on that map I won a round. That was actually crazy. Because that was not logic that I would win a round of that map. But even that worked. I mean, I had at that point no pressure anymore because I already won. I had such a huge lead. I had basically the double points of second place in just 9 rounds. It was crazy. But the maps were also crazy. It was so new for everyone. That was the first cup where I won something big. Also, as there were also these prizes, like this netbook was worth 700 euros, I think. But yeah, I barely used it. We used it as a family. We used it as a family a bit. When we went into holidays, because it was a bit smaller. And we loaded then all our photos onto it. It was also really cool. It had like a... When you booted it up, it had a Ferrari picture and sound. It was also cool. Like, it was a Ferrari netbook actually even. It was really nice, but it was definitely not good enough to play Trackmania on it. So I didn't really have much use for it. So it was more like a family thing. And now I don't think that we still have it somewhere. Probably my parents threw it away at some point. Which is of course sad because it was a trophy basically to have this netbook. I mean, I cannot say for sure that they threw it away, but I would assume that they did. Were my opponents tilted by the format? Oh yes. I was personally always a fan of Frostboiler, but the comments that he then wrote afterwards, he suggested to the hosters after the cup that the cup could be cooler if they would use tech maps and cup mode with finalist format. And I thought, so, hey, literally Frostboiler, every single cup in Trackmania Nations Forever is exactly that. Yeah, why should why should such a unique cup also follow this? Like, why not having something diversity? Like, no? Literally wanted to have another tech competition where you could win these prizes. Yeah. Naja. Hard to believe nowadays that back in the days everything was tech and only tech. Of course TV King is doing that randomly. But there's also another cup that I thought about, where I didn't win any big prizes. It was just one of those, it wasn't even a weekly cup, it was just a one-time happening cup. No, it happened more than once. but not on mega regular basis. I don't understand this map. This was apparently a bit faster than my other laps. Wow. I had once the greatest comeback of all time, but sadly that happened right before I started streaming. It was a competition with a very interesting format as well. We should actually bring that back. No, we actually have it. It is very similar to the 20 Cup. You had to basically hit a certain time as close as possible. But in this case it was the author time and switched from map to map. And the point system was that in every round, the 3 closest to the AT got 3, 2 and 1 point. But you were not allowed to beat the AT. You had to be slower than it. Like you lose, you had basically 3 minutes of time attack on a map that is like 20 seconds-ish long. And you had to get as close as possible to the AT without beating it. And the 3 closest actually got 3 to 1 points. Ah, 9. Fucking Trackmania. Now I will not be able to join the server in time because I'm apparently on the server. We have no warm-up anymore. The 3 rounds are over immediately. Like probably when I'm back, I already lost all my 3 lives. I really want to know what causes this. It is so stupid, you know. Okay, actually it does let me join. I lost 1 life. And now I have cars on. How does Deco think it's an internet issue when my game closes? Why would that have anything to do with the internet? Naja, also the format was basically that the 3 closest got 3 to 1 points, and when it happened to you that you actually were driving too fast and you have beaten the AT, then there was still 1 point to go for if you managed to win the map. Like if you have the best time after the time attack is over. The winner got 1 point. So that's just for the people that went too fast, so that they still have something to drive for, you know. So then there was Milmi. Milmi actually went for the strat to always go for the 1 point on each map. The thing is, as he was committing for this with the beginning already, he had the advantage that he was already, like he had many attempts to get a good time. Because most other players tried to get as close as possible to the AT, and if they, after like 2 minutes are over already from the time tick, from 3 in total, if they then suddenly beat the AT, then they have only 1 minute left to get to hunt for the world record, you know. So that is of course bad. By committing early on, he had basically the chance to get a lot of these 1-pointers. But the thing is, if someone just is on 2 maps very close and gets twice 3 points, then he is already up there with him. So different strategies basically. And in this cup, there was also one extra rule. If you manage to hit the exact time on the 1000 from the AT, then you get 7 points. Yeah, and we go to the last map. And I was on 4th or 5th place. And I was just too far. Scheiße, I lose a life here. Or not, because only 2. What are people doing? Okay. So, you... also I was too far behind. I was 4th, 5th place, but too far behind to really get first. Unless I get the exact time on the last map. And as you know me, I wanted to save it, no? So I, in all my attempts, I wanted to make sure that I don't overshoot and beat the AT, because once that happens, it's definitely over. So I never really risked that. I came closer and closer to the AT, but I wanted to make so much sure that I don't beat it, that I basically put everything into my last attempt. And my last attempt, that I finished 5 seconds before the whole cup ended on the last map, I hit the AT on the 1000. And I overtook everyone. That was like the greatest comeback I ever had. But sadly I don't have footage from that. Like, that was amazing. I mean, I had of course also a reaction then in the stream to what happened there. Yeah, so not in the stream, in the voice chat I meant. Yeah, but sadly I have now no footage or any audio from that moment. Really sad. This is why I like the fact that I at some point got a good enough PC so that I can archive all these things that happen, that whatever happens, that I have it. Now that's the cool thing with the streaming. No way! There was one guy finished after 12 seconds. I would have been in still? What? Without the second crash? I would have been in. Got so much airtime. Was actually... Oh wow, I almost went out now. Because now nobody crashed apart from one guy. Like, what did he even? Like, this was actually close now. Huh. Oh, that was such a stupid life loss. Like, what the fuck? But on this map I will lose my last life anyway. I mean, the 2 life losses were so stupid. One, because my game closes itself, but I'm actually surprised that I could get back. Maybe they actually kicked me. That could be. Because Plavok or whoever it was said, oh, he's back now. Maybe they helped me there. Was still 6th, wow. Yeah. And the second life loss now, I said, what happened there at the finish? I always do a little bit of a jump from the magnet because it also yeets you a little bit. It should give you extra speed, from what I think at least. The thing is that it really looked like I was actually... Like this plugin, also the normal plugin from Nadeo, it is so stupid in Knockout, because when I had my respawn, I checked on the left, and I saw that it was like half a second for the guy in the orange place, basically, even though it's not shown orange here. But I saw he had a time there with plus 5/10. It's really missing like a graphic that would say if they actually finished it, no? Because it really looked like they finished. I had also the red number on my car already. This map actually went better than I thought. And I say that by being 1.5 seconds behind. It really, like, everything looked like the top players until myself and the one other guy, they all finished already. Really looked like that. The crash afterwards was happening because I checked that out and because it just happens with a magnet. Sometimes I just don't get a corner and then you are too fast to avoid these rocks. I mean, I would have been mega lucky to actually not lose a life. But it's still annoying when you then see that it was so easy to actually keep your life. I mean, there were basically two things happening to make me lose the life. First, this finish crash, which was quite stupid and unlucky, plus that I had another respawn. Like, both things had to happen. Okay. There will be still 2 life losses now. So that means that the next round, until the next player is knocked out, will be difficult. Especially with this map here. If I survive that and we are down to the 1 player KOs, there's of course higher chance that the rounds are easier to survive. The plugin shows everyone here with 1 to 6, which is wrong, but it is extremely close. And there is a player out, nice. Okay, I survived this map. That's something. Now the tech map. So here, of course, the wallbang decides a lot. I won this round after the worst start ever. Jxliano loses a life, okay. Okay, nobody wants to get knocked out. The people that had more than one life are currently losing their lives. That was close. Because I had a slowdown, like this a bit random, this downhill. The Dream set still 2 lives not long ago. The problem is that map 4 and 5 are the ones that decide this cup. And I mean, they are both really bad for me. Like on both of these maps my PBs are not in the top 1k. On the first 3 maps my PBs are actually decent. Well, having them played only in the Discovery, I am everywhere like top 200 something on all 3. And that is still good pace. But here, I cannot say that. I just don't know how easy that cut is. How many players actually did make the cut. I don't know. There's also different speed outcomes here in the start, I can tell. It's always feeling a bit random to me. It shows everyone with 0, just Joe Nazem with 1000 behind. The plugin is too slow. Ah, now it shows, yeah, it takes really a while. Okay, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Really try to finish as inside as possible. And I mean, there's one guy only a few thousands behind me. And this is the only one that I've beaten apart from the one crash. Yeah, but I'm still missing some lines that makes them faster. Even though they were not beating my PB. Might be out, I had to release, I went too early. Yep. This magnet downhill is super weird. The problem was that I had no lives left anymore because of my disconnect. Or not disconnect, because of this game crash. Like that stole the buffer that I need, because I play of course against players now in the end that know all the setups and tricks. I have not really seen how to drive these maps fast. The thing is, on this map, we will see how these rounds are. I say I was happy when I did 17.7. A high chance that they all beat that. I don't think that I would have survived this map here. Unless they yak around here. What did this guy do? Yeah, he respawns, so like this would have been easy. 17.8 for Oscar Bay. It's just doable, and that's a good run from my side. Because I have no idea how to do this. Why do they yak like this? Ach Gott. Oh my god, ey. Oh my god, Jxliano, what? Okay, also, I can say that it was actually possible to beat them. Because they yacked around. But now, like, if I was in, then I would be in instead of Oscar Bay, that's for sure. And I would need to face Jxliano on this map. And if he gets this again, then this is chanceless. He literally drove 1.6, no, I don't know, over a second faster than my PB. So if he is consistent with that, then GG. Jxliano zoops, and he is finishing with a 17-0. That is not as fast as the previous round, but I wouldn't have won this. This was impossible on this map. Yeah, it always matters quite a lot. When you play knockout over many maps, it always matters, of course, which maps you get in the ending. This can play a huge role. Also on map 3 or map 2, for example, as well, I felt definitely a bit more competitive, but not necessarily against Jxliano. Against Jxliano, maybe map 3, but map 2 he was extremely strong. Also that would have also not worked. Maximum map 3, I guess.